Tensions are rising between New York City's mayor, Mamdani, and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The flashpoint at Bibi's expected trip to New York. He's on his way for the United National General Assembly. That'll be in September. Mamdani says the prime minister isn't welcome and says he should be arrested.
I want to make it very clear that that welcome ends with me. I will not be welcoming Benjamin Netanyahu or any other war criminals when they come to this city. And I do believe that our federal government should join the International Criminal Court and ensure that there is accountability when it comes to crimes against humanity.
The trip is still happening. Now he's firing back, accusing the mayor of fueling division and anti-Semitism.
He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel and for the Israeli-American alliance from the podium of the United Nations.
Meanwhile, Mamdani responding by saying he is not looking for a fight.
So I'm not interested in getting into a back and forth with Prime Minister Netanyahu. What I will say is that here in New York City, one of my top priorities is keeping Jewish New Yorkers safe, keeping every single New Yorker safe. And we know that while Jewish New Yorkers comprise a minority of all New Yorkers, they comprise a majority of the victims of all hate crimes, and it is unacceptable.
Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is siding with Mamdani's criticism of Netanyahu.
I think he drew attention to the fact that Netanyahu is literally a war criminal. This guy's policies led to the deaths of tens of thousands of Palestinian children. And that defines a war crime to me and to so many people around the world.
Former New York City Mayor Eric Adams joins us now. Mr. Mayor, we saw a lot of mayors just there, and
yes.
Now it's your turn.
Yes.
Do you disagree with Bill de Blasio?
Yes, I do. I think that people want to rewrite history, and they forgot what happened on October 7th. I went down to the Kibbutz. I went down to see what happened on the front line. I saw the tunnels. I saw the literature. And we want to rewrite history. And, you know, when an elected official represents a country, you're talking about the country, not the individual. And we need to respect international leaders because we want our international leaders respected.
Let me ask something, Mr. Mayor. Do you know a guy that commits genocide by texting people in towns before they bomb, by dropping flyers asking for innocent civilians to leave because they're going to be bombing the next day? That's what the IDF did before they went into the most dense population probably anywhere in the world to attack reluctantly and answer those October 7th attacks. Does that look like intentional genocide when you drop flyers? Did Hitler do that?
No, without a doubt. And as I said over and over again, many people are not identifying what this is all about. This is not about Netanyahu. This is the level of global anti-Semitism that has happened across the globe, and using the terminology of Israel. But in fact, when you see some of the rhetoric and when you saw the marches in our streets after October 7th celebrating those attacks, this is a larger conversation, and we need to push back on it loudly.
First time I saw it, you're mayor, and I saw it at Columbia. After the attacks, on October 8th, there were protests. And one of the people in those protests is now has got the Democratic nomination in New York City. Most likely he's going to go right through. There's going to be no Republican opposition. How is it that October 7th, the Israelis are attacked, and October 8th, there were protests against the Israelis in New York City?
No, and think about what was on those college campuses. When we went on those campuses to shut down those illegal protests, we saw literature that was not only attacking Israel, we saw death to America. I don't know if people realize New York City is part of America. And so when you're watching the same chorus from a body of people calling for death to America, and we're not aligning ourselves with someone or an entity that is in partnership with us fighting against terrorism. And so when you have the mayor of our city calling for protests in the street, when you creating this energy in a city on any group, today is our Jewish constituency. What happens later when the attacks is on China because you don't like China? So now you go after the Chinese of the city? Can't do this.
So what the mayor's referring to is the fact that this mayor called for protests when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to town. And the cops are saying, are you kidding me? It's hard enough handling the General Assembly. Now you're asking people to go out and protest a leader? Let's talk about policy for a second. Here is the mayor talking about rolling out city-run grocery stores. Watch.
Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line. Not for our seniors living on fixed incomes, nor for the parents who rely on a regular supply of apple slices to keep toddler tantrums at bay.
So, no hot food counters, no butcher's block. We know that for sure. Some items will be discounted. How do you feel about city-run grocery stores? Is this an idea you thought about?
Not at all. And let's look at it two ways. Number one, there's a way to help those family members who are in need. You can subsidize food costs without hurting the local entrepreneurs. So now what happens to the bodega that's next to that city-run grocery store
Out of
that
business.
can't compete with 30%? And that's the same thing that you're seeing with other initiatives like freezing rent. If you own an 18-unit apartment buildings and your rent can't go up when heating and housing is going up, that mom and pop who are immigrants, working class, black and brown people, they're going to lose their buildings. That's the policy that's harmful.
Do you think that's the goal? So the city takes that building and becomes the landlord?
Yes, I do. I think that the DSA and his cohorts don't believe in home ownership, don't believe that individuals should own homes without realizing what does that mean for the working class people of this city. And I think, this is not a science project. You are impacting the lives of working class people, and it is really sad to see this happen.
Mr. Mayor, after October 7th, that's when I started seeing the fracture with you and the party. Mm-hmm. When you started standing up against the anti-Semitism and Chuck Schumer stayed silent, and when you started standing up and said this illegal immigration can't stand, the border's broken, that's not going to be okay, you got shunned by the White House. And they basically targeted you afterwards. So now if they had listened to you and that border was strong, there might have been a different result from that election. But now they realize how wrong it was. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be here with you.
All right. Hopefully there's a comeback in store.
Yes.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.